Good evening. I was about to say good afternoon. We are way past afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everyone doing? It is day 10 of Silaholics Anonymous Craft Month. And we are going to do some more vinyl today, adhesive vinyl today. Today I actually prepped out a lot of different things to show just a couple different things when it comes to adhesive vinyl. Going to go over some basics of adhesive vinyl and, doing adhesive vinyl and how to use it, how to cut with the mat, without a mat, and things like that. So this is going to be really great for beginners and those who are wanting to get into adhesive vinyl and things like that. All right, so let me go ahead and while I share it out, I ask that you guys share out as well. So I'm going to go over to my feed and I'm going to share this out. And if you guys could share out also, that would be amazing. How is everyone doing this evening? We're just going to post that. Move y'all over here real quick. No, you have to remember we're in different time zones. It's 7 o'clock my time, and today's live is at 7. So you'll see it was at 7 p.m. So we're in a different time zone. So you have to remember that we're in different time zones. I'm on East Coast time. All right. All right. I'm just sharing out. If you guys can go ahead and while I'm sharing, also share or just hit the thumbs up. That way you don't forget as you leave out. Oh, really? I don't know why. Oh, wow. I don't know why it said that. But yes, it is supposed to. It's 7 o'clock. Oh, wow. I didn't realize it's at the wrong time. Okay, let's see. I am still sharing. I'm sharing out to my groups right now. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized. Oh, wait. I was all kind of messed up today. I just realized I'm on Facebook right now. I guess I'm so used to clicking that I click Facebook. Well, I will say, if you are watching over on Facebook, unfortunately, I don't do these live videos on Facebook. So you're going to have to come on over to one of the YouTube channels in order to see this live. I'm not doing any of the Crafty Business Awareness Month on Facebook. So you will have to head over to one of the YouTube channel. Since I'm sharing out from YouTube right now, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and I'm going to post it in the links. I did not even realize, I guess because I thought I was doing like a Q&A. So Facebook was on here, but I am not going to broadcast live on Facebook. So if you are, watch full live here. Okay. Let's see. All right, I am all shared out, guys. I am all shared out, all shared out, all shared out. We are about to get started. So, Give me about 30 seconds. Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and remove that from Facebook right now because did not even know that it was going live on Facebook. All right, there we go. And I am going to see you guys in 30 seconds. Everybody, okay, welcome back again. Today is day 10 of a month long of different crafts, and today we're going to go over the basics of adhesive vinyl and different things as far as like cutting with the mat, without a mat, what you have to set up in Silhouette Studio to do that. We're going to do some layering like right on top of each other for a pencil design that I just kind of did up. Going to go over the weed box and weed border and things like that again. And yeah, so it's going to be a really, really informative one about the basics of adhesive vinyl. I am Shakia of Silaholics Anonymous, the professor, and also the product line. Honestly speaking, I do YouTube videos. I have classes, boot camps, master classes. We host seminars, all that in an effort to teach you guys Silhouette Studio, which is the program that controls the Cameo machines. However, Silhouette Studio can be used as a standalone program. So just think of it as just like your Illustrator, your Affinity Designer, Corel Draw, because it's a vector-based program. So you don't need a machine in order to use the program. You don't need a machine in order to upgrade to the different version. So if you want to go to Designer, Designer Plus, or Business, you don't need to have a machine for it. You can just design in it. And then you can design, save it as an SVG, and then use that SVG in other programs, such as Cricut Design Space to cut to your Cricut, or to open it up in Vinyl Master. Sure cuts a lot. Make the cut to cut to other cutters. Like I can design here and then take it over to my VersaWorks and be able to cut to my Roland BN20 as well. So just want you guys to think of it as a regular standalone design program. But the benefit of it is it can also cut to the Cameo, Portrait, Curio, and also do 3Ds with the Alpha machines. All right. And my goal is to first teach you the machine, teach you the program. And my master's and my academy students, they learn graphic design. So we really get into the why of why do you have to do certain things, and not just kind of showing, oh, how do you do this knockout? All right. So we kind of just show you how to do it. But if you ever have to bring in something else, it's like, okay, wait, this isn't working. So if you understand the why of why you have to do certain things and understanding graphic designing, then it makes it a lot easier for you to create your own designs and know if it's something that you want to create or you just want to go find where someone has already done it for you. So that's kind of just a little bit about me and what I do. And this month, I created an entire month all about my business and what I do with it. So with teaching, so these are mini classes, like we're on for a couple hours because these are mini classes that you guys are getting throughout this month. Just going over, like last week was paper week, things that I've done, countless times with paper. And this week is vinyl week. So I've made good amount of money, when I was doing event planning or just doing creations and selling paper crafts, things with vinyl, making shirts for people, sublimation, party favors, and things like that. So this month is all about awareness for crafting and the different things that you can craft with and you can make with various cut machines. So just because I teach from Silhouette Studio and from a Cameo machine doesn't mean that you're limited to just those to do any of these projects. You can do them from any cutting software or cutting machine. And if you're not into this for a business, these are just some craft things that you can pick up along the way. All right. So I am going to go over here, say hello to a few people. Hello, Regina. Hello, Miss Clark, AJ. Cheryl, how are you? She says, yes, I'm first. And Miss Fraser, Beverly Smith. Kamisha's on Facebook, but if you're over here now, hello, how are you? Miss Thomas, don't always say ladies. We have guys that watch too. And I know she's not here. I'm doing great. Oh, someone says this is their first live with me. Yay. Well, welcome. Hopefully it will not be your last. Okay, Tiffany, I see your question. I'm going to come back to that. Miss Young. Oh, another Tiffany. Hello. And let's see. Ferris, designs by Maritza. Hello, Miss Miller. She said, what's up, Team 365? Cooper, hanging with my oh so Cooper. One of my favorite shows. Hey, Sugar Q, Trina's Treasures. Hey, Miss Gladys. Ooh. I have an old soul. I like old school music and old school shows. She says, hello, best friend and incredible family. How are you? She says, sorry, and gentlemen. My mother is not here. This is my show. She at home watching. She's like, oh, I got to watch because I want to know how to be able to cut this. So she is watching from home. She is not here because it's not her show. This is my show. Okay. All right. So we are going to wait. And look, I spoke her butt up. She texted me something. Okay. All right. So yeah, she was sending me something there as you said that. Well, I saw her message right as you were saying that. All right. So let me go back up out of here. And I also need to make sure I bring up StreamYard so I can put it over there and I can see what your questions. Thank you. Baby boy is doing good. He woke up without a fever. He is driving us absolutely insane. He is back to himself. His daddy was trying to get rid of him. Like, go aggravate mommy. Nope. Mommy has a live to do. So he is doing much better. No fever. So glad he can take his butt to camp tomorrow. So yeah. I am sure it's not her show. This is Silaholics Anonymous, not Style Me Right. This is my show. All right. So we talked a little bit about vinyl yesterday. And we're going to kind of just review again. I showed some of the things that you can do with it. Like I've made glasses, I've made selfie frames with it. Cups for sports teams, helmet decals, car decals, putting it to glass for different things. So the possibilities are limitless. This is something that I made, as you can see. Well, let's turn it to this way. 5 years ago. I'm going to put something inside so you can see. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, come on. Au contraire. All right. So this was made 5 years ago because Makai Jeremiah is now 10. He turned 10 May 20th. So this is over 5 years old. And this was a centerpiece for his 5th birthday party because it was Paw Patrol, but it was also a pool party. So it was MJ's Splashin' 5th Paw tape because it was a Paw Patrol party. And you can see this is still on here, has not budged in 5 years. So it is very much so permanent. Oh, you know what? I see right here. Let's see. There was something that was supposed to weed out, but it didn't. Actually, it's quite a few things. Let's see. Can I weed that out? Oh, yeah. See, it came out though. So technically, they call it permanent, but it's really not permanent because you can actually go in here and pull stuff out. This has been on here for 5 years. And if you pull it hard enough or tug at it, it comes off easily. So 5 years and this still comes off. So it's not really permanent. It can come off. It's just that, like, if I was to pull this big piece off, it will not come off in one piece. It definitely will stretch because it is quite thin. And if it was on a wall, it would tear up. If it was on drywall, it would tear it up. If it's on like glass or anything like that, it can come off, no issue. If it's in the sun and it's baking and all of that, it will crack and be a lot harder to take off. Like if it's been sitting there for like years or months and stuff like that underneath the hot sun, it will start to crack. I've had some where I've had to take them off because they just started to crack and split because it is really, really hot here in Miami. There are several different kinds, and I'm not gonna necessarily break all of them down, but it's the difference between calendar and cast. Like it's whole, like it's scientific to it too, and how they are made. And then you have 651 and all the other ones like 951. All of those are made with a solvent-based adhesive, which makes it to where it's permanent. And then you have 631, which is a water-based adhesive. So you can put that on like drywall and be able to take it off as long as it's not on there for too long. It's not repositionable. Repositionable ones you're able to put on the drywall, and most times when you pull that off, it's not going to peel your paint at all because you can take it off and then put it back on. With removable, you're once you take it off, it's especially if it's just something thin, you really aren't going to be able to put that back on. All right. So that's kind of just a little basics of adhesive vinyl. Adhesive vinyl comes with a backing on it. So it's a paper backing. You cut to the vinyl side, like to this side. So whereas with heat transfer vinyl, you flip it over and you cut to the adhesive side, the side that once you heat it up, is going to melt the adhesive into whatever fabric it is. With adhesive vinyl, you're going to cut to the front side and you're going to do what's called a kiss cut. You don't want to cut all the way through the backing here. This it on the backing is what keeps it together so that you can then put transfer tape on it. And because it has loose letters, you're able to still transfer it all as one. So if you cut all the way through it, those are all going to be separate, and that's not going to do you any good if it's a lot of smaller or just, you know, separated letters, because then you would have to place all of those individually. So with adhesive vinyl, you only want to cut through the vinyl, and that's called a kiss cut. What settings you use to get that will vary depending on the machine that you have, the age of your blade, your cutting strip, your cutting mat, which one you're using. So there's no like one set setting when it comes to the Cameos or any other cutting machines for this. All right. With the Cameo, you can cut without having to have a new machine. All of our machines from the 1 to the 4 cut without a mat. Doesn't need to have a special smart vinyl. That really isn't smart. It's only 13 inches wide so that it can go under the rollers. But with a Cameo, we can do that. Ever since the first generation, we could cut without a mat. Up to 10 feet long. You know, had to throw in a little shade there. But you can cut without a mat. But whenever you're cutting without a mat, you cannot, and you're going to see when I go to the design page, you can. I did nothing of the sort. I did nothing of the sort. I don't know what y'all are talking about. All I stated was facts that, you know, from the first generation, we've been able to cut without a mat up to 10 feet long. I'm just saying, you know, with regular vinyl, it doesn't have to be super, super smart. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not sure if you guys know, like, you know, since some Cricut users, it'll be the first time that you guys can cut without a mat. So what I want you to know is when you do that, you cannot cut your vinyl down to the exact size that you need, because it needs to be able to roll in and out of the machine. So you have to leave 1 extra inch of material so that it doesn't go through, and then once it tries to come back around, it comes off of it and then it's off. So whenever you're cutting without a mat, you do have to leave 1 extra inch. So you're going to waste that. That's why I prefer to cut with a mat, because I get to use, like, I cut this down to the size I need and didn't have to worry about wasting extra vinyl. Whenever you do it with no mat, you have to leave 1 inch here, and you also lose 1/4 of an inch on the sides, because that's where the rollers have to go. So you'll see the cut lines move inward because you can't cut to that. So whenever you cut without a mat, you are not able to go 12 inches to 12 inches. Or if it's like 6 inches, you have to cut it to 7. But you guys will see that when I go into Silhouette Studio. Tell them again, the truth is painful. Oh gosh. I got to get rid of my Cricut Maker and Cricut. Wait, I got to get rid of my Cricut Maker and Cricut Maker 3 now. Well, I mean, don't get rid of it. I mean, they're still good cutting machines. I'm just saying that you didn't have to. Now you had to get a Maker 3 to do what I've been able to do for 7 years. Oh, pobrecito. Y'all can only do 6. Oh, pobrecito. That's so sad. It can cut up to 10 feet long without a mat. Oh, that's so sad. So sad. We're loud, but we're useful. We have a lot of great features over here. You know, maybe it's, you know, it's a loud complex. You know, we have all these extra features to overcompensate for the fact that people consider us to be loud, but that's okay, because we can do a whole lot more. All right, let me leave Cricut alone. This is not about Cricut. It's not Cricut. It's Silaholics Anonymous Craft Month, and we're using silhouettes and stuff like that. So let's leave Cricut alone, y'all. All right, so I think that's pretty much it, though, when it comes to the vinyl. How you transfer it. So I talked a little bit about it yesterday. I thought I still had some left because I wanted to be able to show the difference, but you can use literally anything. If you've been with me for a long time, I even have a video where I was doing some mason jars, and I use regular contact paper, like the one that has the decorative stuff on it, not the clear one, the regular one that had like either wood grain or some like paisley print on it. I use that to transfer the vinyl to the mini mason jars. So you can use pretty much anything. I've used masking tape. I've used the clear contact paper, the printed contact paper, but you really, I've come to realize, like, once you're really into this and you're doing a lot of decals, especially when I did those helmet decals, the first year that I did them, I used contact paper. I struggled putting those things on. I was like, never, ever, 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 ever again. Once I'm like, okay, yeah, we try to do this the right way. We don't have time for this. I quickly got real transfer tape, and there's 2 different kinds. There is a clear plastic one, so of course you can see through it. And then also when I use the regular transfer tape, it's thicker. I found that using that, using real transfer tape also minimize the bubbles. I was like, oh my gosh, these bubbles are driving me absolutely insane. But real transfer tape actually helped minimize those like those bubbles and there's those air pockets. So I will never go back to using clear contact paper. If you are balling on a budget, crafting on a budget, you know, bossing it up on a budget, then definitely, you know, you can still use it. Any transfer tape will work. It just may take a little extra finessing to get it to work. And then there's like medium tack, low tack, medium tack, high tack for things like glitters and things like that. Regular vinyl, you can definitely use just the medium or low tack. If it's really small, intricate items like I had with that, what's those things, which I'm going to do it today too. What the heck was, oh, I forgot to cut the clear piece. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Cutting these again. Oh no, I didn't cut the, I did not cut the dots. I redid it, but that's, I printed them out for sublimation. I did not do the dots. So yeah. But with small, like little small things, sometimes the low tack is better because it won't be so aggressive with holding on to it. The other thing is the bigger the design, and that's why this has lasted so long. The bigger the design, the more adhesive it has, the longer it's going to last. If you have really thin things, like, you know, you have script fonts and it's very thin, there's really no adhesive to grip onto anything. So those will most likely like come off. You want to end up using something on top like Clear 651. So if you're going to do something really, really thin, put Clear 651 on top. So you can do an offset so that it's a little bit bigger than it. And then that would go and layer on top of that to keep all of those really small pieces in place, because there's not enough adhesive, especially if it's on a cup and it's being wiped and water and rags and stuff like that. That's going to pull and it's going to break because it's not enough adhesive. So be mindful when you are using really, really thin items. Speaking of covering things up, I've seen so many people that will use, you're like, oh, I'm sealing in my vinyl, and they're putting like Mod Podge or polyacrylic. That does absolutely nothing for sealing in vinyl. That is not sealing in vinyl. You're basically just putting streaks, especially if you have on glass, you're just putting streaks and you're making it to where technically it is no longer food safe. There's nothing that's going to seal unless you are going to encapsulate it under epoxy. Putting that stuff over it does absolutely nothing for it because it's not going to seal the ends of it to where it's attached to the glass. A lot of those things will peel off. Mod Podge can technically peel off of glass. So that's not really providing any type of sealant when you're using Mod Podge or polyacrylic over vinyl. I have a whole video where I went over that, to where I put it on there, let it cure, and guess what? That vinyl still came right off. There was no real seal. You're just kind of putting it over it, and it doesn't create a seal around the edge. And vinyl itself, and when people say seal, they're trying to seal the edges of it. You can't seal vinyl. Like, it really needs, you know, it's nothing that, this is waterproof. It doesn't need to be sealed as far as it messing up. You're just trying to seal the edges. And as you can see, this 5 years. And I should have gotten Zanimani's cup. I did it last year. When I got those cups, I layered their initials on Zanimani, MJ, and my niece's cup. And it's still on there. And we watched that 1,000,001 times because Zanimani drinks all the dang on time. So there's a couple cups he alternates through, but that decal that's on there, it was a Z. I'm not sure if some of you been here, you remember that one. I did the layer of it, and then it's still on that sippy cup to this day. All right. Oh, goodness. All right, so let me go back up. I did see a question up here about printing, you know, longer. Let me see. Let me go find that one. Where is that question about printing longer? Okay, so she says, how do you cut 20-inch projects off the mat without the vinyl moving? So the tracking, I will say that the tracking on the Cameo is not the greatest. You have to really make sure that you're going underneath the rollers, and it's gravity fed. Well, it's supposed to be gravity fed, but when it pulls like that, it is horrid. So my recommendation is to put your machine on the floor to where your vinyl can stay as straight as possible and it's not going over the edge of a table, because gravity will pull on it and it will cause the tracking to mess up even more. So just be very mindful of that, and hopefully you are doing it where it's 21 inches. So I'm not sure if that's also what happening, why it's shifting. Once it comes all the way down to the bottom, if your design was 20 inches and you cut your vinyl to 20 inches, that is going to cause it to shift once that part gets to the rollers and it tries to go back up. But try to put it on the floor whenever you're doing really long stuff. I'm one where I don't cut without a mat very often. Even when I do really, 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 really long pieces, you have to set it up in the system as no mat, but I tape several mats together to make it where it's a little bit more stable. And then when I put those mats in, I use the arrows to load the mat in further to where it's going to start on the vinyl, and then I just let it cut. So even when I'm cutting long pieces, I still use a mat, but you have to set it up in the program as no mat. I don't trust it with no mat because the tracking is horrible. Let's see. Thank you, Miss Cooper, for the super sticker. Appreciate it. No, so I didn't realize that it said that. Somebody else told me that too, that it said 7:35. I have no idea why it said that because the calendar was like 7. So I don't know. I guess I overlooked it or I clicked on the wrong one, and somebody else said that too. They said 7:30. I don't know why it said that. Thank you for coming over, and thank you, Miss Craftable, for the recommendation. She says you will love it here. Yes. She says, okay, I'm taping mats together. Yeah, I get to the 24-inch mats and I just tape them together, put a little tape on the bottom side, and I just lay that whole thing out and I just cut it. I'll show you how to set it up in here, and then you just want to feed it through to where it starts at the mat. Okay. Let's see. All right. So we're going to, she says, my first time catching you live. Finally, it's happened. All right. Y'all know I like to sing. All right. So let's go over to Silhouette Studio. We're going to do a little bit of tracing. I'm going to show you guys how I set this pencil up, a little bit with how I set my name up. And then we're going to, oh, I just realized my key light wasn't on. I got a weird shadow over here. And then we're going to go ahead and weed some stuff and cut some other stuff. All right. She says, I knew that song was coming. You know me oh so well. Big boy. Hello, Hans. All right. So we're going to layer this pencil and do this like with vinyl. This is an image that is, I got this from Vector Stock. And, you know, typically I would probably use this as something printed because it has all of these different layers of colors. Now, I do have the vectorized version of this. And if I were to do this as a vector, I would need several colors. So there's black, there's a gray, a darker gray, a lighter, a medium gray, a lighter gray. So that is what's building up the shading of this. Same thing here. It's like a darker tan and then, you know, gets lighter as it goes across. With the yellows, there's a darker tone. There is one right here. This is a lighter one in this corner. This one and this one's the same. There's a lighter strip here, a darker one there. So this is really a vector file, but when you have it where it's flattened, it looks, you know, like there's shading there. But this is all different shapes. Same thing here. This is not like Photoshop where you can just kind of create shadows or take your brush stroke and create them. As you can see, they all have very distinctive lines. So if I wanted my pencil to look like this with all of the shading, if I was able to find all of these different colors of vinyl, I can have it look just like this because I would layer it to have the different shades of colors on it. But when it's like this, because there is a lot of contrast between the colors and there is that defined black line, you can trace this for it to become a vector file that you can cut from vinyl, like just solid layers. So we're going to go over to trace, select trace area. And then we're going to put our box around it. And then if you see down here, there's some lighter grays. So these are filled in. You need to take your threshold down until you don't have those gray colors. And like it was also that darker red. And see, I still have, okay, there's a lighter gray, the medium gray. I need to come down one more because there is a darker gray there. I only want the black because if I don't, when I go to cut this, this is going to be like not a full point. So we're going to come back down some more. And then now this is ready for me to hit trace. I only traced the black areas. And now I'm going to hit trace. And the original stays intact. Nothing changes with this one. You created a new file where it is a vector file. If you fill this in with color, it is not going to have the color that's here. The only place there will be color is where you saw yellow at. And so we fill it in. It's basically now like a coloring book version of this one. To fill it in with color, you would right click and release compound path. And then click off of it. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. Click up there. I meant to click right here. Now you can go in and color this whatever colors you want. Well, I didn't grab my gray vinyl. I'm going to use HS ink colors. And I'm going to just use magenta, yellow, and cyan. So we're just going to make this one. Just the machine is colorblind, so it doesn't know what color material you have on there. I can make this yellow, but if I put purple vinyl down, then it's going to print. It's going to cut on the purple vinyl. It does not know what you're putting there. Filling this in with color is just an indicator to help you, especially if you're going to do like the madness that I have on the other screen. And there's like a bunch of different colors and things like that. I want it to group together like colors so I can cut them all on the material at the same time. So now I'm going to right click and group that. Then we're going to select the threads here and I'm going to group those. And as you can see, it doesn't matter if you group before or after you fill it with color. On mine, I just made that one cyan, and then the eraser is going to, of course, be magenta. And then this piece here is just a tan color vinyl. And here, I was going to actually get my smoke gray so that it could look like a pencil tip, but I couldn't find it. So as you can see on the other one, I just removed it. It still looks like a pencil, so I'm not going to use that one. And then when I layered this, all of these pieces will layer on top of here. So they'll be directly layered on top of the black, but none of those overlap or intersect. Any questions on tracing and releasing and changing of the colors? I brought a used Cameo 3. Will upgrade soon. I have a Cricut and love the Cameo, so I am sticking with it. Yes. Let's see. I saw another one. I saw a Cricut question. I could have sworn I saw someone, unless they, oh, this. Can you use this on a maker? So you cannot use the machine, the program itself and cut to your maker. what you will have to do is you'll do all of this, and then you will save it as an SVG. If you have designer edition, I'm sorry, I keep saying designer edition. If you have business edition, you can take it. I'm going to just put it here. Actually, I don't even have to do that. I'm going to, I'm just going to delete this real quick. And so I'm going to go File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive. And I'm going to go Cartoon Pencil, SVG. I'm down here, choose SVG, and then hit OK for it to save. If you do not have Business Edition, you can still save as an SVG. You would do that by saving this as a regular studio file. So File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive. You're going to choose whatever folder you want it to go to. So Cartoon Pencil Studio version 3. So just leave it as a studio version. And then we're going to hit OK. Once you do that, you would then come over to the internet and you're going to search ideas are, space are us. So the site is Ideas Are Us software. And that is a studio to SVG converter. So you would click on that and choose File. I'm going to just go to my quick access, very quickest way to find it. I'm going to go to this silhouette file and click on that. So that's some of the file. And I'm going to convert studio to SVG. It's going to give me a download link. So I'm going to click on that. This is the SVG. You would right click on that and oh, you can create a QR code over here too. Oh, okay. Oh, I learned something new. I never paid attention that there was create a QR code for, oh, I'm going to be creating QR codes like a mad woman. What was I going to do? Save this as an SVG. So we're going to go save as, and then it's going to say SVG document, pencil. And because I already have one saved as an SVG, I'm going to go IRU for Ideas Are Us. And then I'll just hit save. All right. So now that that is like that, I know that this is Silhouette of Silaholics Anonymous, but I'm going to just show that it can open up in Cricut Design Space after that. All right. As long as Cricut don't have to do no update. Y'all know Cricut be doing updates every 2 hours. I'm sorry. My bad. All right. So we're going to go upload. See, look, see, I told you they be doing updates every time I turn around, they got a darn update, and it still works like, ooh, every time I turn around. They got a damn update, Goodness. All right, new project. There we go. Now let's go ahead and expand that. Upload. And hit upload again. And go browse. And then we're going to go to quick access. And this is the one from Ideas Are Us. It's there, and we're going to upload and then go upload again and hit browse, go to quick access, or you just go to the folder wherever it was at, but it's easier for me because I just saved it. And then you're going to come to the one that says SVG and open that one. There that is, and open Sesame. And then we're going to insert both images. And why you way over yonder? Now, I don't know which one did which. Let's exit out. Let's go upload. This was Ideas R Us and insert. Okay, so the one from Silhouette for some reason, but they're petty like that, so I wouldn't put it past them. The one from Silhouette ended up like off kilter. Like it was kind of weird how that's opened up. So this is the one from Silhouette directly. And it came in all kind of funky. Like, I don't know why the yellow is way over here, but easy fix. You would just ungroup it. And then you want to see it exactly where it goes. You would just move that. So then you can, of course, ungroup and well, it's already colored. So when you go to make it, it will separate it all. I'll give you guys that. It will separate all of this, but this part, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do no cricket. Girl, exit. Bye. Not gonna do a cricket tutorial. Nope. This is Silaholics Anonymous Awareness Month. All right. Yep. And look, it's so funny. Your face and your profile picture is like, whoa, shots fired. That's kind of cool. I like your picture, Valley girl. That is priceless right there. She say they get on my nerves with the updates. All right, so yeah, X is out of there. We're not doing their tutorial. All right, so that's that, right? So let's go back over. Oh wait, no, not that one. Let's go back. Wait, where is my? Wait a minute. Oh, I have to undo. I deleted everything. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's tracing, right? So now let's go through setting up, like if you have like text or, you're creating your own SVGs and things like that. Kept this one very, very simple. Just typed out Shakia and the professor. I actually already welded this together, probably should. Oh, and I didn't. So we're going to make sure that with our script font that we weld. Weld should always be your first option when it comes to script fonts, unless they're like you need to adjust something. And if you have to adjust something, you're going to go ungroup, make the adjustments, and then weld. But you should never, ever, ever release compound path or make compound path when it comes to script fonts when it's in text mode. So you do not want to make and then weld, because then you're going to create gaps. So you should always either weld or ungroup. You can even go convert to path, but never, ever, ever release or make compound path. That should not be your first options. So we're just going to go weld. Weld will only weld together things that are overlapping. So there is now a big box around the Rofer, that thing, like I was trying to say without the P. And then there's a box around the P. There is a box around the top of the T, the H, and the E. And then there's one right here, because this is not touching the rest of it. So it made it to where now it's separated. Once you weld, it will separate them. So we're going to go ahead and group this back together. And I'm going to move this up. If you're wanting to save this as an SVG or to send it to someone else, you need to make sure that your regular fonts, you do convert it to path so that it's no longer a font and it will maintain its shape if you send it to someone else. Because if they open it up in their program, it's going to come open as a font. If they don't have that font, it's going to look all cuckoo crazy. All right, so we're going to make a couple duplicates. When you are doing layered things like this, if you have it just right on top, you won't be able to do them. I mean, you can do it in the same color, but you're not going to see like definitions of particular areas. This works best when you have a different color, and then you can see the differences in them, whether the name is on the front. And if I send this to the back, then of course you're not going to see it. So just be mindful of how you have your items or your text or shapes or whatever design, how you have it set up. Now, even though these are two different colors, if I were to cut this, which you will see, and I layer this just like this, the lines of demarcation where the edges meet at, you're going to see that through the vinyl. So it's going to pucker up and just be like two layers in that area. There's a couple different ways that you can avoid that. All right. Oh, too light. You can Simply subtract it. Because you want to keep both parts, you're going to go to subtract all. I got to look around my camera. It looks like nothing's changed, but in the word Shakia, the letters are cut out. So when I go to layer this, it would fit in like a puzzle. Only thing with this is it can be hit or miss with getting it to line up exactly, especially when you're talking about heat transfer vinyl and the fact that heat transfer vinyl shrinks. All right. Now, the other option would be to put an offset on this. So we're going to go and you're going to put an intentional offset so that it creates a gap. That way, if it is off a little bit, it's not as noticeable because you have an intentional gap there. So I'm going to take this down to 0.2 or 0.25, and then I'm going to hold down. I'm going to hit apply, hold down shift, click on the word, my name, whatever, the other part is. So as long as you hold down shift, it was still selected when you hit apply. Just hold down shift and select the next one. This one, we don't need this outside line. So instead of subtract all, you would just hit subtract. And then I'm going to, I don't want this little straggly piece here. So I'm going to hold down shift, click on that to deselect it and group together everything else and delete that little straggly piece because that's a pain in the butt to cut. So now you have an intentional gap on it. And if it's off just a little bit, it's not as noticeable because there is an intentional gap. If you wanted to layer this to where you have a color behind it, once you have everything set up, you would select your entire design, go over to offset and create an offset. This is also, let's say if it was a really thin piece and you wanted to put a clear vinyl on top, or maybe just have that clear vinyl on the bottom part to help the adhesive adhere to that. You could make this as big or as small as you would like. We've had this particular function since the beginning, like we've always been able to offset. I think some people just got that maybe like a few months ago, but it's been great having this for the past 7 years. And then we're going to fill that in with, ooh, not that color, Jesus. No. I like that one. All right. So that is a way to put some sort of border, and you can put as many as you would like. So if I go offset again, so I'm going to offset the offset that was there. I'm going to hit apply. And I can make that white. So this can be 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of vinyl. All right. Any questions? Because now we're going to weed. We're going to cut some stuff. We're going to weed some stuff. And we're going to put some stuff together. Let's see. What would be the best place to get designs to change up, such as the Afro Puffs, Baby Girl? There's no best place. There's so many different artists out there. Some people have their own websites. There's people who have shops on Etsy. You can find things, on some people have their own Facebook groups. So there is no best place to get it. It really just depends on the type of image you're looking for and looking for the artist that has a file that you can use. All right, so I'm going to go over to my one that has my 1,000,001 things on it. Okay, so you can see I broke all of this up. I've already added my registration mark. I showed yesterday how to do that, and I have cut most of this. I need to cut my my pencil, the tips of my pencil, and then also the yellow part. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I need to cut this part for the tip of the pencil. Hey, what are you doing? Okay, This is a weird glitch with Silhouette Studio. It does drive me crazy. Oh, now it wants to move. Kind of zoom in. But sometimes you have to add something else to it for it to move. It's just kind of a weird glitch like that. So we're going to come here and see, now it doesn't want to move again. I don't, well, no, I do need that because this is a really big piece. I'm just going to make this bigger here and bigger there. So I'm going to cut that. And then my next one is going to be my yellow here. Wait, it is yellow, right? Yeah, my yellow I need to cut. And I'm going to put this, OMG. All right, I'll show you what I'm going to do to this so I don't have to zoom out. I'm going to put a shape here. And I'm going to select it and then move. Wait, no. I'm going to put my mouse over the star and then move it. It's just this weird glitch. Like, I don't understand why it happens, but it's just this weird, weird glitch. All right. So I have that in place right now, right? I'm going to go to send. I'm going to leave my matte on for now. I'm going to click my yellow layer and go no cut. It's not going to cut it. Or I could go to, oh no, I can't do that here. If I were to go by fill color, if I had this fill with the color, I could uncheck all of these and then choose this one and it would only cut this. But I have my registration, my alignment marks here. So I have to account for that. So I'm going to just go back to simple and I just turned the yellow layer. I just went to no cut. This is the only thing that's going to cut. We're going to load this up and we're going to cut it. All right, hold on. Let me move these out of the way so that I can put my camera. I did forget to put my camera up here. The second camera. Let's see. Let's answer some questions while I'm setting this up. Which vinyl is best to do car and wall decals? So for car decals, you want to use a permanent adhesive. I mean, you can actually use both. Because I have done car decals with 631 and they have stayed on. I've done them where they've been on the back windshield and the windshield wiper goes on and it still stays on. So I have used 631 because I wanted more of a matte look. 631, all of them are matte. 651, all of them are glossy, except for there is a matte black and a matte white, but everything else is glossy. So ideally, people will always tell you to use a 651 for cups, car decals, and things like that. For walls, you want to use 631 because it is a water-based adhesive and it won't pull off your drywall. Okay. All right, let's kind of adjust this just a little bit. And I'm going to put this on the mat. And I need to put this on the mat because it is all kind of rolled up. And I'm going to tape it down because it is going to continue to pop up on me because it is all kind of rolled up. This was some scrap vinyl that I had. All right, this is a really small piece, so I should be okay with just loading this. And only because I have that tape there, ooh, I'm going to move this design over some. I have that tape there. And when you load it up, you see where my mat is? The edge of the mat is to the back of the line. So that's for everything. It's going to line up to the back of that. And then we're going to go ahead and send. I cut one of them off. It's okay. I just realized my line was cutting off that back one. All right. Oh, shit, I didn't realize I made this pencil that big. That tip is that big. This pencil is humongous. All right. Now I'm going to put my mat to the side, and we're going to cut the yellow one without a mat. So when cutting without a mat, we're going to go back to design. You're going to come up to your design page, and you're going to go, not machine, you're going to go to cutting mat and choose none for that. My design itself is, and so if you look right here, the design page is like 5, but this line is here. So that's why you have to leave an inch. So if this right here is pretty much right at 6 inches, if I made this 6 inches, my line is still up here. I have to make it at least 1 inch higher or longer in order for it to properly feed through. So this has to be at least 7. And now my cut line is below my design, but I do need to kind of go up to the top some, or I'm just going to make it just a little bit longer, and I'm going to make it 7.25 just to give myself a little bit more room. So you have to, anything that's down here will not cut. This, what's in the red is your cut border. I can move this out of the way. I don't need this right now. So what's inside the red? And then you'll also notice that there's now red along the sides. That's where your roller rolls on the mat, on the material. So you have to make sure that there's no part of your design over there. You cannot go edge to edge. So we're going to cut this down to size and then have this cut. Ooh, what is this on my vinyl? All right, let me first cut. I don't know what that is. All right. When you're cutting with no mat, your leading edge must be super, super straight. Oh, I've already moved this and I forgot to move it back. So we're going to put this in here. Okay. This is too big. I'm going to just put this as some extra because I can't hold this with my hand. All right. I just wanted to cut that off of this roll. So now I'm going to put this back in here and go to 7.5 because I also have to open up this. Oh Lord, I was nowhere near 7.5. Wait, hold on. Oh no, okay. I'm like, I did leave myself a circle. Like, wait a minute now. All right, so now I'm at 7.5. I really needed 7.25. So all of the machines, you adjust this one over here to move it. This last one is when you're cutting with no mat, when you're cutting with a mat. Uh-oh, what was that? You're cutting with a mat. And then the one next to that is when you're cutting 12-inch material with no mat. But it has to be 12. If your material is cut to where it is, let's say, like some of them say 11, like it's like 12 plus or minus 0.25. So it's really like 11.75. It's only going to be a very, very thin piece on there. So if you're doing a really long piece, it's most likely going to shift on you. What did I do with the piece that quick? Oh, it fell on the floor. Oh, yeah. All right. So you would push your lever down, and that's going to release it. And then depending on which machine you either have to pinch and roll. This one just has a push for the lock, and then you pinch that and you move, like you pinch it to unlock it, and then you move it and it just snaps into the groove. So we're going to just push that lock again. If I was cutting with a portrait mat, it would be on that first one. If you're cutting 9-inch material, or unfortunately, if your thing is not quite 12, you have to use a mat, because if you come here, you're going to have a void wherever this is. So if you have a 12-inch piece and you're putting it in there, also the best way to to get it to where it's going to shift, because it's not gripping the mat properly. And then if it's just the 9-inch piece of vinyl, then you would come to this one. There are no other marks here. Anything smaller than 9 inches, you must put on a mat. All right, so we're going to take it back to that one. We're going to lock this down, and you want to make sure that it feeds in evenly. So you're going to put it on the line and then hit the load button. Oh, it went in crooked. Needs to go in straight. And I'm doing this upside down, so I don't know if I have it gripped. There we go. That went in straight. All right. And I'm not sure if you paid attention the first time. It loads, the sound is shorter because it doesn't have to account for the extra mat. You're just loading the material, and the blade is going to come right to the top edge of the material. And I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was like that. So that's just to show you where this is lined up at, and it's to the back of the line. And then on this side, you can see the roller goes on top of the vinyl. On this side, the roller is also on top of the vinyl because it's to the line. If you're using a roll feeder, you can have this feed through and then drop this down, and there's a cross cutter. So if you didn't want to cut it off the roll, that is a way to save on vinyl, is to have a longer piece so that you don't have to cut it down and lose an inch. You would let it go, and then you can bring it through, cut it with the cross cutter, or just unload it and cut it with your scissors or X-Acto knife, whatever you're going to cut with. So now I'm going to let this cut. So because I'm not using a mat, and I normally use a Cricut mat, which is a very thick mat, on my cut settings, I'm not going to use the same as far as a force of 10. it's not as thick, and your force is what makes it to where your blade connects really with the cutting strip underneath. If it's something that's thick there, you're going to need more pressure or more force. So since it's right at the cutting strip, if I leave it on a 10, it is going to cut too deep into my vinyl. So I'm going to bring this down to probably like an 8. That normally works for me. And if you have it where it's too much force, it's going to snag it, and it's going to drag, and it's going to pull, and it's going to mess your vinyl up. So you have to figure out what is the ideal setting for your machine. Now, of course, nothing is on, so I'm just going to select everything that's here and go cut and allow that to cut. And that actually sounds like it's a little too deep. I can hear it dragging. I probably could have gone down to a 6 or a 7 because that is a fairly new blade. So I could have gone down a little bit more because I do hear it dragging. And I can hear it sounds like it's cutting through the paper. When it cuts through the paper, and it's hey, don't talk about my thing. My microphone real close to it is right up on it. If you cut through the paper, it does become harder to release from the transfer tape. I mean, release from the back when you put the transfer tape on it because they're cutting into the paper. And I can tell I have too much pressure because it is lifting on that side over there. So I could have gone down to maybe like a 7 or a 6. There is no set as far as force and things like that. Like Silhouette has some suggested settings, but you really are going to have to learn your machine and what settings are going to work best for your machine. There is no set of settings. Oh no, there's only 8 likes. Yeah, y'all need to go click out of the live chat, give this video a thumbs up. This is a full-on class on vinyl. So make sure that you guys click out of the live chat, give this video a thumbs up if you are watching right now. And if you're watching the playback of it, make sure that you go and hit the thumbs up as well. All right. So we're going to unload this. Oh, yeah, I cut way too deep. I can feel it in the back. I heard it. Like, I can tell it was cutting too deep because there is a totally distinctive sound between cutting paper and cutting vinyl. And I cut this way too deep. The fact that I can feel the impression on the back, I cut too deep. But hopefully we don't have any issues. All right, let me bring up StreamYard on my phone because I'm about to go over to the table and I won't be able to see any comments from over there. So all right. Okay, so I am going to use My weeding tool, this is actually a dental pick from the Dollar Tree. It's actually one of my favorite weeding tools, although I do want an actual weeding pen. I did put weed borders on this, which I did forget to go over again, which is just putting your offset on it. So we're going to lift this up. And it does help with weeding around really small pieces when you have a weed border on it. I think that's the only thing that has a weed border are those. And then everything else. Now I can just pull this off without fear of really messing up anything else on here. Actually, no. This come from Dollar Tree or Walmart. One of those places this came from. I want to say, yeah, I want to say Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree or Walmart. One of them. So for smaller ones, I like to remove the cavities first before I remove the weed border, because the vinyl around it gives it a little bit more stability. Once you remove that vinyl that's kind of holding it in place, and you start to try and move some of these smaller pieces out, you can cause your vinyl to shift. So that border kind of keeps it in place. So whenever I do that, I have really small pieces. I like to weed those small areas first. And I just push them onto the vinyl that doesn't matter. Well, the negative part, and then I can peel this off. There should be one more. Wait, no. There's that, and then there's that. Oh, how did I leave these in the same spot? I really did. All right. So you can kind of see this is what it looks like. And again, it just helps you to weed it in those small areas. So you'll focus on the individual pieces, and then you can pull away this part and not worry about messing up the intricate cuts of your vinyl. All right, let me grab the other two colors, well, three colors, because we have our tan. Oh, yeah. And this, I'm going to just cut with my scissors. But I did put so there's a difference between a weed box and a weed border. This is a weed border. So I did not go, I mean, a weed box. The other one around it is a weed border. This is a weed box because it's just one box to isolate it from the rest of the vinyl. So I can pull off this whole thing and, uh-oh, something on here did not cut. Why didn't you cut? All right, that's okay. I'll cut another piece for the second one. So now when I cut it again, I think I put that on the mat anyway. I have to put that on the mat. So now there's that one. Let's cut the cyan or like the blue one. And because the black one is the longest one. If you have questions, now is the time to ask. Do weed boxes and lines save with an SVG to cut with another cutter? Yes, because it's just a line. So it's no different than the rest of the design because it's just a line or a path. So yes, that will save with it. Good question. So this one, I put a weed box and a weed border on it because there's really small pieces here. So there was this one. And then there is the weed border. I mean, weed box. All right. And I think that's the last one. So now I can just pull away. The negative. All right, last one. Same thing with this one, really small pieces in the middle. I just kind of push them out and onto the negative area. To me, that's just the easiest way to do it. I don't try and pick them up and because it's really small, they get stuck to your hand. So I just try to push them out onto the negative space. And I just realized I forgot to cut I was going to cut the clear for this part. and I forgot to cut it. I'm using Oracle 651. But any adhesive vinyl will work. I've used Enduraglosses. So Enduragloss, that's an adhesive, a permanent vinyl. I've used 3M. I've used Scott's. So I've used several different types of adhesive vinyls. And then I have some that don't have a name on the back. All right, so now I can, whoa. See how small that is? But now I can remove that because I have this around it. Oh, I forgot a letter there. An inside part. Ugh, I lost the P. How did I lost the S? All right, there's one more like that. Some of those no-name vinyls are amazing. They do be amazing. When do you use trace and detach? When you're going to do something where you're going to use it as a printed or digital file. So you want it to maintain the colors that it has. All you are looking for is a cut line around it. So you're either going to use it digitally and you're just removing the white background or like the colored background, or you need to do a print and cut. Wow, I missed the part about adding the weed box. Seems like it's much easier for the smaller words. It definitely is. I press my finger on the ones that don't stick, and sometimes I'm lucky and it comes to my finger. Ah. All right. Ah, I lost my G. Ooh, that was a bad cut. It actually split my O. I guess the knife went across it to where it split the O. Oh no, all of these kind of cut kind of weird. Oh no, see. Why did you cut weird? All right, the rest of it's coming off. There was a little section where we had a little bit of turbulence. All right, so let's just fix that A. And this O. Ah, picked up the darn H, trying to put the O down. All right. For Cricut, people say to put on washi setting for intricate cuts. For the cameo, I guess the weed board or weed box is better. So that's as far as it cutting. The weed box does not help with how it cuts. It helps with how you weed it out. So putting it on like washi tape will just be to where it doesn't cut super fast, where pieces are not lifting up. So those are two different things. All right. Actually, did I pull that out of any of the other ones on my name? Oh, oh, oh. And some vinyls are just temperamental. This is another area when it's a really big piece like this, I like to use, I lost the E. When the heck did I lose an E? So there's weed borders, weed borders, weed boxes, and weed lines. When it's a big one like this, I like to add weed lines to separate the sections, but I didn't think about it for this one, to put weed lines to separate the sessions. Oh my God, some of you guys are so far behind. They're just now on my update song. All right, so all the pieces are done. Now, let's layer these bad boys. All right. Let's do the smaller ones first. Okay, so this is there. Oh, I only did one with alignment marks. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to, I think for my name, can I use this one? Is it big enough? Yes, it is. So I'm going to show you the traditional way of doing this. This has a, oh, shoot. I think I did it wrong. So this doesn't have a gap in it. It should fit right to it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think that's the one with the gap. One of these should fit right in the gap. So I think it's this one. So I'm gonna start with this one first. And of course, you want to have a squeegee of some sort when you're doing this. And that's just to burnish it down to have your vinyl to adhere to your carrier sheet or your transfer tape. So we're going to peel this off and then put this right underneath the alignment marks. If it's small pieces, leaving it on a mat can help because it will want to like buckle up on you. And tape doesn't really work because this part is non-stick. So if you're going to use tape to hold it down, it needs to go all the way across it, like for you to hold it down. Because if you just kind of put it on here, sometimes it doesn't stick because this is a non-stick area. So I'm going to use tape to hold this down so that I can lay it on top. So I'm going to take these two alignment marks. Some videos will call them registration marks. Because I teach print and cut, I don't like to refer to them as registration marks because it confuses people. People think that they can turn on the registration marks on the program, and then when it goes to cut, because you're just doing a regular cut, it's saying registration marks failed. So they think that that's what they have to do. So me, being the professor that I am, I don't want to confuse people. So I don't call these registration marks. For regular vinyl companies, they will call them that because they're not really doing print and cuts. But in my world of silhouette, I call them alignment marks. So if you ever hear me refer to something as alignment marks, I'm talking about creating some sort of shape so that you can, it's called a registration when you line them up. So we're going to hover over to try and get them lined up. Once I see that they are lined up, I'm just going to press it down. And I don't think this was the one for this one. Ooh. But none of these other ones have marks on them. But I think one of them, I cut the marks off. Looking through this, I don't think, oh, it might be. It might be. So you're going to hold, which I did this backwards. You're going to hold it at the alignment marks. Lift up your tape. Pull this off. And then use your squeegee to guide it down. If it's a really big piece, use a yardstick. So we're going to guide this down. And my marks were lined up pretty good. So this was what was supposed to fit in there. And my marks were lined up pretty good. You'll see that there isn't really, there's no gap. You can't see the black at all, right? But look at my P and even my T. They don't quite line up perfectly. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of creating a design when you're using vinyl, because it's really hard to get the registration like accurate without having gaps. It won't focus. Hold on. There it is. See the gap? All right, I'm just going to cut this down. So for if you're doing these to sell, it is best that it's going to seem like it's a waste of vinyl, but it is best to make your area big to where you have all of this extra space. So that way, once you cut it down, you're cutting it down to a even dimension. And if you don't want to cut it down where your marks are, go ahead and just cut the transfer tape down. And then you can always lift this part up and pull those marks off. And then package this up however you're going to package it. Put your label or, you know, whatever you're going to put on it, and then it's gone. So, but it's nice when you have it where you can have a nice even cut. All of you, if you're selling them multiple vinyls, you want them all to be cut to the same size, like sheet. So you're going to have some waste where you have space on either side and top or bottom so that the finished cut of them can all be the same size. All right. Now, if you don't do that method, you can use parchment paper to also help you line things up. So I'm going to pick up the first one, and it really doesn't matter. So last time I picked up Professor, because this has a gap in it, I'm going to just pick up Shakia, which there's actually an extra piece in the middle. And then I'm going to take one of the Professors. I'm going to tape this down. And what I'm going to do is put my parchment paper down. I can see through that. I'm going to take Shakia and put it on. Well, it needs to be towards the edge of this. So I'm going to put this where it's coming off of the edge of the parchment paper. I'm going to line this up where it should be. I'm going to hold my hand on the transfer tape, remove the parchment paper, which I should have actually had one underneath here because, and you need to make sure that your bottom one is taped down so that it doesn't move. But I actually should have had a piece of parchment paper underneath here because my vinyl is going to stick to my table. Hold on. Let me fix that. So I'm going to take this off. All right. I'm going to go back and put it on top of here, line it up. Hold my hand there, make sure it's nice and smooth so that it does line up where it should. Hold my hand there, lift up my transfer tape, pull out my parchment paper carefully so that I don't move my bottom piece. Oh, come on. And then roll, let it roll down. Yeah, I was off. I did move it. Hold on. Let's see. I didn't move it much, so I should be able to just kind of go like this and get it to line back up. It didn't quite line up. But this is where having that intentional gap, it doesn't look bad because you have an intentional gap. So if it's off a little bit, it's fine. So I'm going to take this whole thing off. Hopefully I have enough on here to place it and cut this down. Yep. Or you can use a paper trimmer to make sure that it's nice and straight if you are selling these. All right. And then these will pretty much be the same. I'm going to show you the one when it's layered right on top and the line of demarcation. So we're going to, so for this one, we have to, because this layers directly on top, you have to pick up the bottom one first. Depending on what size transfer tape you have, if it's not like a super big piece, you're going to need to make sure. So okay, let's say I had this here, right? And I pick it up where the Professor is at the top. You know what I don't have room for? Shakia goes above that. So now I don't have enough transfer tape. So when I'm picking it up, I do like to kind of have it in the general area so that I can pick that up. Squeeze, oh, wrong way. squeegee it. And because this is going to be layered right on top, I'm not going to worry about using the parchment paper method. I'm just going to place this right on top wherever I see fit. Oh, you have to be mindful about the sides too. I almost didn't have enough room for my S. All right. And then I don't even know what I made this extra one for. I think I have an extra professor. I don't have an extra Shakia. Oh, no, there's one there. I don't know what I made that one for. Probably just because it was alternating colors. All right, so these are these three. All right. Now let's do the big one, the pencil. So I set this up with alignment marks. With the way this pencil is, there are some areas that's closer to the back, and then things are, you know, kind of towards the front. So originally I actually forgot about this one. I actually could have set up everything towards the back. Originally, I had this set up towards the front just so that I didn't have to waste it. But then I realized, oh, wait, this has to go down third. Well, this has to go down. These two have to go down, and then I wouldn't have anywhere to align this. Oh, and then this goes underneath. So I had this one to here, but in order for me to align these up, I have to put this on top. Like I couldn't put this on top of here because there's no holes. So I end up having to go back in and add the marks there. So it's kind of pointless. But if you have certain designs where you need multiple ones, ideally what I should have done, the very top one should have had the marks here and at the bottom so that they line up. Only downfall for that is this is a really small piece. So normally, like whatever piece is, if it's going to layer directly on top of each other, you want to have marks at the top, bottom, side, you know, wherever it is. But for this one, it works out fine. So I'm going to pick up the, what's this color? The magenta first. I'm going to use my wet tape for this. Same thing with this. This is a really small piece, but I have to account for the fact that this is really, really big. So when I'm cutting my transfer tape, I want to make sure that it covers all of it. And this is barely going to cover. So I'm going to have to go the long way. This tape is old. All right. I think I just barely got enough. I think I'm going to have to go buy some more tape because this rips every single time. Oh, that's where I cut it at to get a new one started. Okay. That's why that did that. So I'm going to pick up because these do not directly overlap. This one has both of my marks. So I'm not going to start with the small ones. I'm going to start with my yellow one. And if you have smaller tape, you can run several pieces. So like, let's say you have a thinner transfer tape, put one down over it, put the next one and the next one and the next one until you cover your entire design. All right, the way that I like to do mine, I need some reinforcement here. So I am going to cut another piece of tape and just put it over that mark, because the paper tape is very, very thin and I need a little bit of reinforcement because of how I like to do mine. So with the paper tape, I can barely see through it. So I'm going to flip this and take off just to here. And I'm going to cut my marks out because the other way I can't see them. So I'm just using my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut my marks out. All right. Now that those are off, I'm going to take this off, and whichever mark I'm going to work with, I'm going to put this back. So I'm going to start with my eraser and the band. So it's to the back. So I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to grab my eraser. And all I'm going to do is line my marks up in the windows. If I make a mistake, so I'm able to kind of put it down and make sure that they are aligned to those windows. Once they're there, I'm going to lift this up. I'm gonna push it underneath it because I need my yellow to touch something. I should have had parchment paper underneath. And I'm gonna drop it down. Okay. I'm gonna squeegee this. And take that off. I'm going to cover that back up again because I need to use these marks again. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper underneath so they can catch my yellow. I'm going to line it up again. And if it moves around too much for you, you can always use your cutting mat or a mat or tape it down. Make sure that your marks did not move. Oh, I'm going to burnish this a little bit more. If it doesn't come up, just flip it over and push it down into the tape and it'll come off. And then this is why for this one, if I would have put the marks to the back where this is, that would have been a lot of wasted vinyl. So by having marks to the front and the back, this piece that's closer to the front, I'm able to line it up to the marks that's in the front. So now I'm going to cover up the bottom half and leave the front marks exposed. And I can now add this one. Now, all of this is going to go on top, directly on top of the black. So here's where we are so far. It's all going to go on top of the black. I can get it to go down, but now you're going to have vinyl touching vinyl. It could potentially bubble. Like, so the clear tape, I find that it does, like, because it goes on and how it kind of goes on, I don't get as many bubbles when I layer on top of vinyl. With the paper tape, because it's thinner, it leaves more room for air bubbles. So for this one, I am going to spritz it with some of my wet solution, like for wet applications. Don't want it to be too wet. And then we're going to line this up. I normally don't do it this way to sell a decal, because normally I'm taking it off and I'm putting it on something because my paper is going to become wet and this is going to be wet. Because this is wet, I'm not worried about putting anything underneath here because it's not going to stick to this right away because it is wet. So I can use either one of the marks. It does not matter which one I use. So I'm just going to go to the top since I was at that one already and place that in the windows. I'm going to add a little bit more. So we're going to do this and place it over the windows. Come on. And then I'm going to roll it down. Oh, whoa. I'm off a little bit. Let me go from the bottom one. I don't know. For some reason, the top one's coming up off. So let's just try from the bottom one. I do think that one kind of got cut off. No, this is off too. They must have lifted. So I'm just going to try to eyeball it. And because it's wet, I can see through it enough to line it up. And then you have to push the fluids out. Oh, there is a piece of vinyl under there. I didn't see that. Okay. So you gotta push all of that fluid out. That's what's gonna help it. It's gonna push out any air pockets, and that's gonna make it to where this has no bubbles. All right, I'm gonna cut this down. All right, so that one's done. And this one, I don't have the pencil piece to it. I was just going to use the parchment paper method to do this one. I just don't have the actual like tan part for that one. And with this one, with using, well, I can still do it. I'm going to use the wet method for this one. If I can get the paper tape to come off in one strip. Okay. So this is a little bit harder when you don't like registration marks are great for things like this. These technically don't really line up. So there you wouldn't really know the spacing. That's where alignment marks come in handy because you would know the exact spacing. So with this one, I'm going to pick it up from here and then put it where it belongs on the base. So I'm going to kind of go like that. I'm going to pick this one up. So I'm spraying this, and this is going to help me maneuver this where I can kind of move it around where it needs to be. Push that fluid out. Take this off and then do the next one. It's actually better if you do these in smaller pieces because the paper is now wet. I actually wanted this. I wanted the big one for the last part. I didn't want to use that one because it's going to be wet and it's not going to pick up the vinyl as efficiently anymore because it's wet. So for the smaller pieces, you'll end up using smaller ones. But as you can see with this, it's a lot of waste also. Well, not really, because if you have like one big piece and you cut it to the sections, it's fine. If it does not pick up, just turn it over, press it into the transfer tape, and it will come off. Again, I'm going to spray it. That's going to help me line it up because see, it's going to move. I can move this until I push that fluid out. I can still move my vinyl. And if I look through it and it's not right, I can lift it up until I squeegee that air out, that fluid out. I'm able to still move it. So now that I'm squeegeeing that out, it's getting a bond to it. And I can take that up. All right. Hopefully this is dry enough to pick up my yellow now. Try to make sure there are no ripples in your paper. So far, which method do you guys prefer? Like, which method do you think will work best for you? Out of all the methods I showed, which one do you think would probably be your best option? And are there any methods that I did that you have never seen or never tried before? Ooh, that's a little crooked, but it's okay. So now there are no bubbles in that whatsoever. And what did I do with the other one? Oh, my other pieces hit the ground. It's okay because I didn't have the clear vinyl for that anyway. So that's fine. We'll just kind of stick with these because we saw this design yesterday. It's my HS ink design. All right. Where did my cutting mat go? Oh, yeah. We're just going to put this on this chopping mat just so that you can see me apply them to certain things. Actually, I don't know if it's going to actually stick to this. Now that I think about it, I don't know if it's going to stick to it. Let's test it with this one. Hold on. Let me see any questions. Hold on. I tried to place my image 1 inch down on the mat in software because I wanted to start on a particular spot, but it still cut at the very top of the mat. What happened? Make sure that you had a mat selected. If you had the mat selected and it wasn't no mat, I'm not sure what happened. Sometimes the vinyl doesn't stick. How can you be sure that the client will be able to peel the design off and place it on their wall or car? On glass, it really shouldn't be an issue. On walls, sometimes it can, especially with it. It really depends on the type of transfer tape you're using. And they just have to give really good notes. Like instructions on how to, like they may have to hold it there and apply pressure. They should be pulling it at a 45-degree angle. So you really should give them clear instructions on how to apply it. Thank you. Definitely hit the thumbs up and comment. Parchment paper is what I like to use. Okay. Never tried the wet method. I like the wet method with the alignment marks. This last one is what I would do. Haven't seen the line mark method before. We'll go with the parchment paper, but I love options. I use parchment paper. I've never seen the wet method done before tonight. What is the liquid you use for the wet method? So you can make your own, and you can use like distilled water or like purified water. You can use regular tap water too. Alcohol. So it's like 3 parts alcohol, a little bit of water, 1 part water, and then a few drops of dish liquid. That's like a homemade wet solution. But this, I'll show you the bottle again. I showed yesterday. It's called Rapid Tack. And that's what that is. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to fold this and we'll make sure it's to the edge and put it in the middle. roll it down. I was right on. Okay, let me see. Can I get it up? Yeah, because I don't really think this is a sticky, like I don't think it's gonna stick to this. So I'm gonna put it down, roll it, squeegee it. Go to the top. And yeah, I don't think this is really a surface that this is going to stick to because it's a cutting mat. I should have just grabbed a piece of glass or something. I just figured it was clear, but I should have thought about that. The surface of this is not really meant to stick to it, but I can get it to come off. So with this one, this is the one where it was layered directly on top of it. So I'm not sure if you guys can see, but there is a bump. Uh-oh. There is a bump right here because it overlaps the vinyl. So that can cause some issues with it adhering evenly whenever you have it go over another piece of vinyl. Wait, there we go. Well, I don't think you can see the bump on there, but it's a line of demarcation on there. All right. What method is it really going to work on this? Let's see. Do I want to try and put one of them on here? So another method, if you have like a really big one, what you can do is cut your vinyl in half, like your backing in half, and let it stay on there. You're going to take a piece of tape and you're going to put it on one side of that line on the front. Just make sure that it's on straight. Okay. Then you're going to position it where you want it to go. And tape it down. You're going to, this is your anchor. You're going to lift up one side and roll it down. Oops, I was a little too close to it. And then you'll do the other side. You just take your tape up, grab it. So this is really short, but this is the method that you would use for really long decals. So you're working with one side at a time. You can take the tape off and then just push that down. And then the best way to do this, and you can see this is a surface that it's going to stick to. So I'm just holding it at a 45 and I'm peeling it back. All right. I meant to put HS ink up there. That's what the other one was for. I'll do that later. And then with this, because everything is layered on top, this can work one of two ways. It can work with the transfer tape where you're just going to, it'll be on the transfer tape. and then you can apply it to, you know, your surface. And then burnish it down and then take it up. All right. It's not going to stick to this. Because it is layered, it makes it heavier. So I technically could peel this off like a regular sticker because it is layered. So I'm going to just peel this off. And what do I want to apply this to? I want to apply this to something else other than these. Oh. What's these? Oh. Nope, too big for that. Okay. It's just barely, I mean, the tip of it technically is going to fall off of this, but and on a especially on a surface like this, it's better when you have more control. It's sticking down versus it catching to the transfer tape. So that's on that one. Actually, well, no, I can do it this side way. So I want it to be like a pencil pointing down because that's how the file was. And then I can put others. Oh, let's put the other professor on here. Where did it go? Where is my other, the professor? You know, let's just make this one. And I'm going to layer this one right on here. I should probably have used this tape and not this one. I probably should have used the clear tape. I can't really center it, so I'm just going to put it. Oh, wait, the professor goes, okay, underneath the A. See, this comes off so much easier than the paper one. Oh, wait. Sorry, you guys didn't see any of that. Sorry. Oh, I did this so backwards because there's a whole peg for this to stand on, and I did that so backwards, but that's okay. So yeah, that's all of those. And I will do the one for here because I wanted to cover that part up because I didn't want to use this side. Although I could have put the professor. That's probably what I should have did. I probably should have put my to-do. My team told me, where's your to-do list? I probably should have put to-do, and then I could clip things onto here. But I was going to not use that side and just kind of use this side and as a display. So I was going to put my HS ink right here, the one that just fell on the floor. But when you see this picture posted, it will have the HS ink on it. All right, let's see. Alignment marks are what's up, definite game changer. Haven't tried wall or car decals yet, so I was wondering, not sure of the instructions myself. I'm doing the most with squeegeeing until it looks like a contour outside the item before I peel back the transfer paper. Not thumbs up here. Or y'all telling me thumbs up, but I think they were saying to give the video a thumbs up or like the video underneath. So you have to go out of the live chat and then like the video. Every night, y'all are getting some good gems, so make sure you tell a friend to come on over and hashtag TPTM. That stands for the professor taught me. You are welcome, Jesse. You can use both sides and make it universal. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to, well, see, on this side, my name would be backwards. So I would have to put something here where it's like, I would probably either have to do like an offset or something so that on this side, you wouldn't see my name backwards. Or I have to make my to-do list where it covers my name completely on this side. Like, so whatever paper I put here would have to cover it completely so that you don't see it here. But then on this side, I could have my HS ink at the top. All right, y'all, we are at 2.5 hours. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. Did you guys enjoy this one? I think this was actually, I mean, it would have been good to be able to put the big decal on my godson's car, but this kind of taught you the basics of using adhesive vinyl. I kind of wish I would have finished this one for the live, this one, but I'm probably going to do it. I want to do a TikTok video so bad, so I'm probably going to do it, like record it and do the speed on it and then do a TikTok video. I've been wanting to do a TikTok video for so long. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to show that. I showed you yesterday. Let me get my rapid tack. So here, look at it. I'm going to drop the link for you guys. Hold on. I'm going to drop the direct link. This is a big bottle, but it definitely comes smaller. Oh, hush up, Silhouette. All right. Hold on, I'm getting the link. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over here and rapid tack. All right. So this is the smaller bottle of it. I'm going to go back. So you can get the 32-ounce bottle. This is also one. So this has the sprayer. This should have the sprayer on it also. So this is 32 ounces with the sprayer. This just comes with microfiber towels. You don't really need those. No sense in paying extra money for that, although that's the one I gave you. I'm going to give you this one too. But this one is just a 32 ounce bottle with the sprayer. It's $16.99. This is the one that I have because I do a lot of vinyl. So you have that one. And then you have Rapid Tack 2. And this one they said, like, this is for, it's really not much different. I didn't find, because I had the smaller version of this, I really didn't find that it was much different. So this says formulated for intermediate, calendar, and specialty films. Great for cold applications and intermediate films. And then you can also use it, I could tell you, it's a cleaner also. But then this one, so this is for premium cast film applications in all climates. So that's what we were saying before. There's a difference between calendar and cast. It's just the type of vinyl. So this is kind of your general one and works. It's like your all-purpose one. So he says, eliminate bubbles and wrinkles, reposition while applying, effective in all weather conditions. Do not use on acrylic with flame polished edges. So I'll give you the link for that one because no sense in buying the one that's $19.99. And then you have a rapid remover. And this is also like the clear. So there's a couple different ones. They also have squeegees and things on here. This is more so when you need to cut it. Well, this is good for cutting vinyl in general, but especially when you're doing cars, you can see the little tool that they have. I actually have that little tool. I used that when I did the bike. But you have a set here where it says it's more so for vehicle wraps, but you can use it for regular applications as well. But this is more so to get into corners and things. All right, so I will post the other link also and put it in the description. If you guys could use the link, those are affiliate links. So it does help my channel and my platform when you guys use the affiliate links. I wanted to turn off the light behind me so I can turn my camera back on in the front. Hold on. Got to turn it off. If not, y'all going to get a whole big glare. All right. Let's see. She says, this is new to me. So what do you do in the crafting? Do you do mainly shirts? Do you, have you never done like adhesive vinyl and things like that? Do you do more so just sublimation? If you do, hopefully you are using the best sublimation paper around. And I'm not saying that just because it's mine, but honestly speaking, it honestly speaks for itself. And it is the greatest sublimation paper. Allows you to sublimate at 365 degrees for as fast as 30 seconds. Look, I even have a whole look. It's not just the ink release for me. It's the release in 30 seconds. No bleed out, so no cover sheet, no butcher paper, no parchment paper on top, in the middle, underneath, unless it's going to bleed onto your platen. Lower temperatures. 3-minute oven tumblers for most colors. And please believe the hype. It honestly speaks for itself. Honestly speaking, sublimation paper. So if you guys are not using this paper, I don't know what you are waiting on. The direct link is in the description of this video. Go to shop.silaholics.com. Check out our site. Purchase some paper. All orders that are in before 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time go out the same day. All other orders go out the next day, along with those that come in the next day. We are in stock. Do a very good job of making sure that we, keep things in stock. Although it's going to come back fast, y'all, I promise. But we are down to the last, I think he said 2 cases of 13-inch rolls and the last 4 of 8.5-inch rolls. But more is on the way. So it's just that it ran out before the next one got here, but more's on the way. So those will kind of be out of stock for a little bit, but they're going to be back really, really soon because those are on the way. So then we have 2 cases and then 2 cases, he said, of 13 and 4, or maybe it's reversed. Maybe it's 4. I forget which way, but it's only 2 and 4 left, whichever way it is. I'm going to have to get some of your paper and ink. I need your help with sublimation. I'm always here. We have a very helpful Facebook group if you are on Facebook. That is, honestly speaking, 365 sublimation. So it's spelled the same way it is on the paper. So honestly speaking, 365 sublimation, the best sublimation group on Facebook. We are small, but still the information in there is great. So definitely join the Facebook group for any questions that you have. We have also our sublimation seminar and the playbacks for that, partial of day 2. But we're going to have a 3rd day of it because there's some information that I kind of didn't get a chance to do and go over. So we're going to have a day 3 of that in September. Those who have already paid for it, if you pay for it now, you'll have access to that live session that's coming up in September. All right. And then sometime soon here, because I just had to create the listing and take the pictures and all of that, we have 6, maybe 7 7720s, because one is mine, one is for a giveaway, and then the rest. So might be 6 or 7 that will go on the site. So if you want a 7720, but you will have to purchase it with all of our products. We're not reselling just the printers by themselves because you could have got them from Epson. So we're selling them with our products. It'll probably be around, it's going to seem pretty high, but it's paying for the printer. That printer was $299 plus shipping. Our ink bundle, so it's going to come up ready for you. And what else was it? So the ink bundle, the paper bundle, and then a set, not a full set of tapes. I don't think all that's going to fit in there. I think it's just the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch that's going to go in there, but that will be on the site soon. You guys can use a firm or Sezzle, which will allow you to break that big purchase up into 4 payments. But yeah, that will be on the site very, 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 very soon. Thank you, my dear. I need to know how to change my Epson 15,000 to sub. If you are using it for regular ink right now, with regular ink in it, you won't really be able to. The 15,000 is not like the 2720 where you can lift open the top and take out the hoses and then drain it. So you can't do that with the 15,000. So you'll have to get a new printer, unfortunately, unless you want to try to go through and like I've seen some people, but that print is huge. They tried to put the bottle back on there, let it drain, but then guess what? There's still ink inside of the line. So you'll have to purge all of that out. And if it's pigment ink, it'll kind of still work. If there's dye ink mixed in there, it's going to print, and when it prints, it's not going to transfer. With that dye ink, you got to make sure you get all of it out, and even it's probably even better to flush it. So with the 15,000, you can't really flush. Oh, so yeah, see, you're new. She said, I'm new to sublimation. So new that I'm at the checking what products to use. Will you explain what makes your ink better than the other inks? Oh, I most certainly will, my dear. So it's not just the inks. It is also like our paper is game changer. I'll show you the inks though. So the reason why our brand is called Honestly Speaking is because I'm very open and honest about pretty much everything. Even when we launched our line, you know, I made it perfectly clear. I'm not making this in my bathtub. I researched how to make it, and I was like, okay, yeah, we're just going to order from the people overseas and let them send it to me. But I did go through a couple different companies to find like what colors, what gave me what I felt like were the best possible colors. And as you can see, this is our black. If you look at any other companies, theirs looks brown, and I do mean brown, but as brown as my skin. So our colors, like I use plain paper, bright white. I don't use premium matte, except for some tumblers. I think it's the coating on there, but like mugs and stuff like that. Hold on, let me grab one for you. Let me grab two for you. Oh, the camera fell. I'm always dropping the camera. So this was printed with plain paper setting. We didn't waste all that ink around here. Plain paper setting. And these are the colors that you get. The colors are amazing. Don't mind the end right here. That was a fault of the the Cricut mug press. But look at those colors. And that's using plain paper setting. This one is plain paper setting, and this one was printed with the Epson 2720, which is an EcoTape printer that uses dye inks, but the colors, like the reds on here, are still very much so red. I'm sorry, the glare. Okay, let me pull it back some. So you can get like some extra reddish tones with that one because it needs like a color profile, which I'm still trying to finalize the color profile so that it can balance out some of the colors, but it is a dye-based printer. But when you're using color codes, you can get the most accurate colors. So this is printed with the 2720, but look at my blues and look at my purple. And, you know, so you can tell blue from purple. So our colors produce amazing colors, even with the EcoTank printers. Like I said, plain paper setting, bright white. I have a full video. This plain paper setting on cardstock, and you're still getting full ink saturation. And because you're using, here's another one. This was done on plain paper setting. You can't tell me this don't look like real leather. And because you're using plain paper setting, that helps with being able to, like, for the ink to fully release, because you're using a lower ink setting. When using premium matte, more of the ink will kind of rest on it takes more heat. With typical papers, it takes more heat and more time. I did these bags right here. I used premium presentation paper matte setting because I really wanted it to stand out. Although I realized it wasn't the setting, it was just that I needed to add red. But this was done with premium matte, and I have the video. We did this on Sunday, and I still pressed it in at 365 degrees for 45 seconds. So while our inks are great and they pair well, you can use any inks with our paper. We have Miss Crafting with Things on here. She has her own ink line, Dynamic Ink, and it works beautifully with Honestly Speaking sublimation paper. She prints with the Sawgrass printer, comes out great. So you can use any ink, but of course, we would like for you to purchase our ink as well. And this still presses at 365. I've done it with an easy press, before easy press, Cricut easy press. So the power really is in our paper. Gone are the days of using premium matte and people saying that's the best setting. You're going to get great colors. And then with the, what was I going to say? Oh, our bottles are 140 milliliters. That's one of the biggest things with our company is you're going to, if you have an eco tank, this will give you 2 full refills. So you're going to get more bang for your buck. When you really break down how many millimeters for the price, it's a great value. And whether you're using it as with an eco tank or you're using cartridge base, it's 140 milliliters. And you can, if you watch my video yesterday and I told my mom I had to refill them, this is great if you use cartridges because you don't have to open it up and be fearful of spilling all of your ink. I thought about that when it came to this. So you put the needle in top, tilt it, drain, like pull it out. You can sit it there while you pull all of them up. So it makes for really efficient refills as well. We have cartridges that are really the best because it has the circle chamber in the middle. Those are the best ones to use. We offer them as quick start kits. So they're pre-filled, pre-primed for you. So if you get a cartridge-based printer that uses the 252 cartridges, all you have to do is take out the vent plug, put it in, and you're ready to go. One print head cleaning, use the Epson cartridges, you're set, ready to go. So we do have options on our site that makes it very convenient for newbies so that you're not intimidated by the printers or by the setup. We provide it set up like the cartridges set up for you. It's easy to do. Follow the instructions for Epson with the Epson cartridges and then do an ink cartridge replacement. Put ours in there. Make sure that vent plug is out. And then one print head cleaning, literally one print head cleaning, and you will be set up. All those videos you probably see is probably intimidating, been scaring you. 37, 8, 9, 10 print head cleanings. That's team too much. One print head cleaning with our quick start kit. Or if you don't buy our quick start kit and you buy our DIY kit or bundle, just follow my video on how to properly set it up and it still will be one print head cleaning. All right. But definitely get you some of this Change the Game paper. It is absolutely amazing. The colors, if you've not seen any of my other videos, definitely check them out. So here is like some other things. So here is a mask. Acrylic keychain, plain paper setting. Here is another acrylic keychain. Again, plain paper setting. And a mask, so you can just really kind of just see colors. Produces great colors. 365, 30 seconds. Now, this is with the Hottronics, and a lot of the heat presses, you can do it. You will maybe have to find your sweet spot. Definitely download the updated chart on the cover. That only works with the Hottronics. For most heat presses, though, 365, 40, 45 seconds. Some people say they can do 375 for 30 seconds, 40 seconds. So you'll have to find your sweet spot, but you definitely will never, ever have to use 400 degrees for 60 seconds on anything. Will any Epson Eco printer work? Yes. All Epson printers have a piezoelectric print head, which means that it does not use heat. So any of them will work. The only difference with like using an Eco Tank is the base ink for that is dye inks. And almost every sublimation ink is based off of pigment ink. And so the colors can vary, especially things like teals. If you're not using a color code, it can vary just a little bit. So you'll have to find the right color code. But if it's something that's pre-made and pre-done, colors can, shift a little bit depending on how they were designed. This is not an Epson Eco. What's not an Epson Eco? Oh, you have the Expressions. So you have the Expressions 15,000. Is that the one that you have? I have a 2720. So can I purge the ink and put in our inks? Yes, I have a full video on how to pull the inks out. Now, depending on which company you have, you may want to leave your like all the other colors. I did a lot of testing. The colors can be different. Like some of them, like the way that some people will look at it and like, okay, well, why is theirs brighter? And then this is a different color. This produces amazing colors. I find that some of the ones that are too yellow, they like your yellows come out more of like an orangish tone. I get really great yellows with the company that I went with overseas. So I'm always perfectly honest that I ordered them overseas. I just tested, and I found what was the best product to import to bring to my customers. Do I sell any other sublimation blank tumblers or cups? At this time, no, we do not. We are still home based, and we just got our warehouse to kind of house all this extra stuff that we have coming in. But as of right now, we're pretty much home based, so we don't want to kind of overtake our house because we have a lot of ink and paper that we have available to ship out. Couple places I recommend: Glow's Custom Creations. They have tumblers and mugs, those color changing ones. She has the stainless steel ones. Those I cannot wait to do some more stuff on the stainless steel ones. I don't see mine in here. And she's the tumbler. Like I always say, she's like the drinkware lady. She has glow in the dark stuff. She has the egg shaped, the straight wine tumblers. To me, Glow's Custom Creation, I think she should be like Glow's Custom or Glow's Tumblers or something like that, because she's like the drinkware lady. So definitely check out Glow's Custom Creations. J&M Treasures has stuff. SublimationsBlanksandMore.net, TTB. So those are some of the places that I go to. And then if I'm not mistaken, Dynamic Ink also has blanks on her site also. If it's up, not sure if it's back on vacation yet. Thank you. Angela, she's accessible. She's knowledgeable of all printers. She provides demonstrations and she knows about print settings. Look at some of her other videos. I sell ink and think her brand is amazing. Oh, you're going to make me blush, girl. It does look real. I need to decide on a printer. I'm leaning towards an Eco Tank. Well, over here on my channel, I am Team Workforce. May want to look into, like I said, we will have the 7720s on the site soon. I am Team Workforce all day, every day. To me, they just print faster. They print better. If something should go wrong, it's a lot easier to fix those and correct those than it is with the Eco Tank. So I am Team Workforce printers or cartridge-based printers. I have a real inexpensive heat press, but once I found what to set it up, awesome results. Thank you. I will order after I decide and find a printer. Told her the same thing about the background. Oh, mother, please. Is my sticky paper for fabrics only? No, because we did a, wait, which one is it? If I'm not mistaken, this one was done with the tacky paper. You can use it on hard substrates as well. So I've done videos where I've shown using it on a hard substrate. Sublimation week, you will see a lot of that. So if you are new here, definitely stick around. If you haven't seen my schedule, this is Silaholics Anonymous Awareness Month. So I'm doing video. I have a different week, a different theme every single week about all the things that I love to do in Silhouette, the things that I do with Epson printers and that I teach. So definitely check out our calendar. It's posted on our YouTube. Just go to like the community section, I think it is. So this is vinyl week. Next week is t-shirt week. Then is sublimation week. On HS Ink Day, which is the best day ever. So it's National HS Ink Day. Yes, I have my own national day. And that day we're going to talk about so many different things, whether it's like all the things that couldn't fit in. We're going to go through that day. It's going to be like back to 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 back, back to back to back to back live videos. So definitely be ready to tune in for that day. And then we have Party Favor Week the week after that. All right. Let's see. Yes, Glow's Custom Creations. What is the difference between the 7710 and the 7720? The only difference is one tray. The 7710 has 1 tray. The 7210 has 2 trays. The 7710 has 1 tray. The 7720 has 2 trays. They're both all in one. The 7210 is a totally different one. That is one where it does not have a scanner to it, so it's just a printer, but it does have 2 trays. All 3 of those use the 252 cartridges. I've used the workforce printers for years, but have not made the jump to an eco tank. You don't have to. I've had mine for years also. I'm very much so team workforce. Yes, and you must, oh yeah, so on Saturday, I do a giveaway. And for our giveaways, it's based off of those who have placed orders. So from July, when we hit 25K on my Silaholics Anonymous channel, and also we hit 15K in July as well. And then now we're at 16K for Honestly Speaking. So to kind of pull those together, that I hit 25K and then 16, I'm actually almost at 17K on Honestly Speaking. And then combined with this month, every Saturday. So all my videos on Saturday, I do a giveaway. I actually still have the wheel sitting up, and it's based off of orders. Any orders that are placed on the site, you get 1 entry. If your order is over $150, you get 2 entries. Over 200, it is 3 entries. Over 300, it is 4 entries that you get. So that's 4 chances that you have to win. All the order numbers are put in there. So definitely get your orders in before Saturday. We're giving away a lot of great prizes. And oh, I forgot to put it up. And then there will be a raffle. So for that person who's looking for a printer, you could be lucky in that I will, we're going to sell raffle tickets. And if you don't win, don't worry. You can then use that as a, it's a gift card. So you guys will go on the site. There's a special gift card. You're going to purchase that gift card, which will be your raffle ticket to like you'll purchase your raffle ticket. And then once you come back and buy something, you can use that gift card to go towards your purchase. So if you don't win, you can still use that gift card. All right. I said that because of the chip issues with the workforce, because I would like the larger prints with workforce. So there are no chip issues. We have this thing that's on our site that's amazing. Let me take you to the site. Hello, Angela. Welcome. Let me take you to the site. All right. So we're going to go over here and we're going to go. No. Okay. Well, we can go over there. It's one right there. So we have this amazing thing called a chip resetter. I showed it last night because, you know, my mama used up all of my ink, all of my black ink. I had to reset it last night. So this thing right here is game changer for anyone that has a workforce or a cartridge-based printer, except if you have the 7820 and the 7840, because you have to constantly change the chips on those. But it's still a great value when you buy the chips from our website. But for all others, especially if you have a 7720, 7710, 7210, 3620, 3640, like all of those, this is what you need in your life. Anyone that has a workforce printer or a cartridge-based printer, you need it in your life. You're going to want it in your life. You need you a chip resetter. So definitely go to the site and get a chip resetter today. You get you a chip resetter. Hey, you're entered in to win. You can win paper. You can win ink. You can win classes. You can win 101s, heat tape. So you can see we have the heat tape there, 5 different sizes. Yes, I use all 5 sizes for different reasons. So we're doing giveaways. So go just buy your chip resetter. You'll get an entry. You might win some paper, some ink, or anything like that just from buying a chip resetter. So definitely visit the website. No, you don't have to be on the live on Saturday to win. No. I'm officially addicted to your channel. Aw, thank you. Since July, since we hit 25K. We hit 25K in July. So I combined the giveaway for the month with the fact that we hit 25K in July. All right. All right, y'all, I'm hungry and we're exactly at 3 hours. So thank you guys so very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed today. I will see you back tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are putting 650. We're still kind of on this vinyl. So we're going to put 651 on canvases. Hold on. Oh, because I don't want to fall. Yikes! I knew that was going to happen. My chair slipped from under me. Almost bust my butt. Good thing I caught my fall. All right, so 651 is on here. So we're going to do on this one as well as now this time I'm not gonna bust my butt, so I'm gonna have to stand up. So I'm gonna switch all over. Y'all can look at the what's that thing called? That screen. Because I have to stand up in my chair. Ooh. Yikes. All right. Ugh. I should have just did that the first time instead of trying to stand up on the darn ledge of my chair. This is 651. And this has been on here for about 3 years. I think this probably was on here even before I had Ziny Money. So it's probably longer than that. Or maybe 2 years, somewhere in there. But this is 651. This is also 651 on painted canvas. So we're going to do 651. And then the next day is heat transfer vinyl on canvases. All right. She says, cool, because I have just about everything. Tell a friend to come over to the best channel. Thank you. Peace. Yeah, I'm about to go, y'all. Good night. I know that I almost bust my butt trying to stand up on this ledge. She says, thank you. Much fun and informative. My videos are always, they're long, but they're informative. I always say, I don't do tutorials. I teach. So I don't do tutorials. I teach. So these sessions a lot of times are mini classes on various things. So yeah. I just realized I ordered your paper, 3 different size sample packs in May, but didn't order any ink. Gotta get your ink in. You're welcome. All right, y'all. Actually, I did kind of hurt my side when I slipped down because I kind of broke my fall trying to hold on to that thing, to the shelf over there. So now my side hurts. I think I should have even rub it down, even if it takes all night. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go. Y'all know I like to just break out in song. If you're new here, hopefully you like my singing because it's going to happen a lot. If you don't like my singing, then I don't know what to tell you because I break out in song all the time. But thank you guys so very much for watching and joining me today. This is so much fun. Like, I don't know what took me so long to create a whole month about my business. This has been so much fun, and we're only like barely into week 2. All right. So thank you guys so very much for watching. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.